Hi there. Just popping in today to talk to you about the most important aspect that I feel is going to occur in 2026. And there may be more, there will be more aspects, of course, occurring as the year goes on. But at the beginning of this year, this is the one that we really have to take notice of. And this is the big conjunction that's been created, and it's been going for a little bit of time now between Neptune and Saturn. So they've been doing this conjunction, moving together, working together in Pisces for the last sort of year or so. And now they're sort of moving, now they're moving into Aries. So on the 26th of January, Neptune will move fully into Aries for approximately another 14 years. And on the 14th of February, Saturn will move into Aries for around about another 2 years, 2.5 years. And so what's so important about these are major outer planets changing signs. So that's always a big deal. When an outer planet changes signs, big things happen. We're going from one influence to another influence. And it's a gradual, nice sort of transition from one to the other, but often it's not. There could be quite a shock, there could be quite a something that happens globally that changes this. I remember many years ago when Uranus moved into Aries, I think it was 2011, was the day of the major Fukushima disaster in Japan. So sometimes big things can happen at this time, and other times it can just be a gradual change that we start to feel. But what's so important about this is that Aries is the very first sign of the zodiac. So not only are these two planets moving into another sign, but they're moving into a whole new cycle. It's been 150 years since Neptune's been in Aries, and it's been around about 28 to 30 years since Saturn's been in Aries. So big deals for both of them. So what we're going to find with this energy is that Aries energy being the first sign of the zodiac, there's no illusion, there's nothing hidden, it's black and white. It's This is what you see is what you get energy, basically. And so what was going to come with this is a lot of revelations. It's going to be nearly impossible to hide anything or to slip things under the carpet or anything like that under this influence, especially when it's at 0 degrees, because it's intense. It's the very beginning, and as we know, the beginning of anything is usually the most intense part, and the very end and the middle stuff is all the learning. So this is a really important transit for everybody to be aware of. So in my opinion, it's the time of the spiritual warrior. While Neptune has been in Pisces, we've been imagining, fantasizing, dreaming, thinking about what we really want, what we would like to create on Earth, whether that's for yourself or on Earth as a whole, a big community project, or you want to change the whole world, whatever it might be. But we've all had our dreams, and Saturn's also in Pisces was also encouraging us to look into your dreams. What is the most important thing for you moving forward? What do you really want? So once he moves into Aries, we move out of the illusion, the imagining, the creating, the I don't know if I want it, I don't know if I'm any good at it, and things become very clear. We get the clarity we've been waiting for, and we therefore then have the energy to create the structure and the foundations for those dreams and imaginations you've been working on to actually make them come true. So we go from being spiritual thinkers to warriors because Aries is ruled by Mars, and Mars is the planet of action and motivation and passion and war. And so when Mars is involved, things happen, things get going, everything gets a bit more active and reactive as well. So what we're going to have to be very aware of with this incredible energy of this conjunction, and with the energy of Aries being pretty predominant over the next sort of 3 years at least, is that it's going to make everybody feel like they're the most important person, or that they need to be in charge, or they need to do their own thing. And it's really encouraging us all to think for ourselves and to act for ourselves, which in my opinion is a really good thing. But we can't always all be in charge. We can't always be the leader. It can't always be about you and what you think. We've got to learn to listen and accept and learn tolerance and patience for other people and their differences too, so that we can all come together. Because what we're really working towards is more community, more of an ability to not be divided. We've been divided for so long. We were all picking on each other when we really know there is one common enemy, and it's not you and it's not me. And so it's moving. We've got to move away from that and not create. I mean, I believe it'll probably be inevitable that there will be more war coming up, simply because of the energies that are going on at the moment, and the need for change, which is huge at this time. And change doesn't usually come easily. We've got to go through some sort of chaos, some sort of massive upheaval to find our equilibrium and find our balance again, especially when we go from out of this age of illusion and into this age of clarity. So, I've been saying this for quite some time, but I do believe that, one of the big things with this conjunction up until around about February has been the dreaming, the fantasizing, the thinking, the imagining. What is it I want? What do I really want to do? And we're going to come the end of February, we will all have the clarity to know how to start this off. You might not be able to see the whole picture or exactly what it's going to look like or where it's going to go, but you will get a starting point. You will get the ability to create the foundation or the structure that you need to get your idea, your dream off the ground and make your dreams a reality. So be very aware of this time that we're going through over these next few weeks. I mean, the next month or so, really. It's going to be very highly charged as these planets move into Aries and start doing their job of recalibrating and changing the world, evolving us out of our old, negative, outdated, conservative ways of being and into a much more flowing, open, community-based, open-minded way of being, which is what the world needs if it's going to change. We've got to be doing things in a different way, not the same way we've always been doing them. So be aware of this conjunction. It will be powerful, and realize in your own life, use this energy to take charge, but not take charge of everything. Nobody gets to be the boss of everybody, and that the need to do that could be quite strong. And a lot of people, especially if you're already quite a dominant person or like to be in charge or lead anyway, you could find yourself being a lot more dominant and a lot more demanding, maybe even of other people too. So be aware of this and sort of tapping it down a bit. It doesn't have to be that intense. It doesn't have to feel so personal. Just realize everybody's going through this. Everybody's feeling the same sorts of things, and we need to work with one another so we can bring out the best in one another rather than this whole division thing of you're better than me and I can't do that and you're this and I'm that. That's all got to stop. We're all coming together now with this new energy. So enjoy this transit, be very aware of it, and just know when to listen and when to speak up. It's not always about you, and try as much as you can also to not spend too much time in your head. Because when we're in our heads all the time, we're coming up with scenarios and stories and things, some of which aren't even true, that just get a bit carried away and it all gets a bit convoluted. It's better, take your ideas, your dreams, your things you want to do and put them on paper. Because when something's written down in black and white, it tends to make a lot more sense. One more thing with this powerful conjunction. On the 14th of February, when Saturn moves into Aries, Neptune's already there, so they will form this very powerful conjunction at 0 degrees of Aries. Now, within a couple of days of that, on the 17th of February, we will have the first eclipse of 2026, and it's an Aquarian eclipse, surprise, surprise, and it will be a solar eclipse. And it's an annular solar eclipse. It's not a total solar eclipse, but it will be powerful because by then, that's even more Aquarian energy, even more pressure, because solar eclipses bring the energy of change. And I'll be back to talk to you more about this solar eclipse closer to the time. But when we've got all of this Aries energy stepping into your power, stepping into your independence, stepping into your leadership, and then we've got the solar eclipse that comes along and could actually change a lot of things, because eclipses tend to change the things that need to change, that we're not finding the power or the ability to do so. To me, they're almost like I always sort of liken them to being on a diving board. They sort of project you into the future in a way that you need to go and in the direction you need to go, but sometimes you're not aware that that is the direction that's needed for you. And because it's all in Aquarius, it'll all be curveballs. Things will be coming at us that are very different with this Aquarian solar eclipse. So with the Aryan energy, we're getting the clarity, and we've got this continuing Aquarian energy in the background, and that's bringing the change and the innovation and the forward thinking that we need. So when we combine those two together, it's pretty tricky, but we can make it work. It's all about you having faith in yourself and what you believe in, and knowing that your dreams, your aspirations, whatever they are just as good as anybody else's, and that you are the one that needs to give them life and make them real. So enjoy this transit, and I'll be back to talk to you again soon. Bye.